Welcome to another episode of BaatCheet Beyond Small Talk. Today, we have a power couple with us who have not only mastered the art of public speaking and leadership, but they have also built a beautiful life together on the podium and beyond. Welcome to our show, Sagnik and Annesha.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here.
Thank you for having us.
Let's start with you, Annesha. You have studied English, you've been a Teach for India fellow, a TEDx speaker, and now creating content and inspiring so many people over the internet. So you're clearly a master communicator. Despite all of this, what was your inspiration to join and be in Toastmasters?
Right. Thank you, Obi, for that question. The funny part is it was all a mistake. I was not supposed to go into the Toastmasters club that day. This is 2015. I'm talking of. I was in Calcutta. It was a very cold winter night. And what happened was one of my cousins was going for his SP Gen interview, and he wanted to explore Toastmasters as an option for interview help. And so he sent me as proxy because it was nearer to the college that I was teaching at that time. So I walked into Salt Lake Toastmasters Club in Calcutta for the first time. And what can I say? I got hooked at that, and that was the beginning of my journey. I just loved the energy. I loved that everyone cheered on every single person in the room, and I went in as a guest. I went in for the table topics, and I just spoke for 10 seconds and froze, but they still clapped for me. And I think that camaraderie, that kind of the positive feedback that I got after that, that is what hooked me onto Toastmasters, and I've been in love ever since.
It truly was a rewarding experience for you, Annesha. And speaking of rewarding experience, my most rewarding experience in Toastmasters was my term as the area director in 2021-2022, where you, Sagnik, was my district director. And I had the greatest time of my life in Toastmasters there. What was your greatest, most rewarding experience as a Toastmaster in this way?
I think my most rewarding experience has been these 9 years. I don't want to put it exactly to 1 year, but it's just been that I've been collecting stories all these while. I love telling stories. I love repeating a story 55 times on an average. So I think the best feeling has been that I have been a part of some amazing stories in these last 9 years, and I think that is what sets this apart. But I was very lucky to get into Toastmasters in Mangalore, and I think that set the tone for my journey forward, because small town, easy access to all Toastmasters, and my club Minfi Toastmasters was top of the class, right? We would fight with and fight for each other. So all my experiences, all who I became in Toastmasters, all the experiences that I've been able to give the person who I was able to become, it's all come from Mangalore and Minfi Toastmasters. That kind of set me up. So yeah, I think I've loved most of the journey, and every year has been something or the other. Very little small little things always add up. So yeah, can't pinpoint to one experience only. Yeah.
So people who know you know about this story of Minfi and your love for Mangalore, but all of our audience know, I'm sure they want to know about one more story, the story from meetings to your marriage. Who would want to tell that story to everybody?
So we have very differing stories and different perspectives, right? So you go first, and I will embellish whatever.
Okay. All right. So it wasn't love at first sight at all. This was the year 2018, and I had been called for a session at Mysore. There was the TLI initiative that was going on, and I was going to talk to them about LinkedIn, creating a personal brand. And one of my very close friends, who was also a Toastmaster, Anirban Bhattacharya, had called me there. And Sagnik was the division director at that time, if I am not wrong.
Yeah,
it's been a long time. So he was there, and he was the spock for the event. And he got in touch with me, and I ended up in Mysore, and it was again a very positive atmosphere that I found there. I did my session. and he was quite a being quite a nuisance, like a backbencher. He was behaving in the audience.
I thought you said charmer.
No, so that happened a little bit later, right? So there was like a very Pride and Prejudice kind of situation that happened. So then in the evening we were all like catching up socially, and then that's when he really showed off his like crazy side and his charming side as well. And so I started talking, and we kept talking since, and we met up in Bangalore after that when he moved. It was a little bit organic, and it took some time, but yeah, evidently it has worked out for the long run, and super happy to find someone who loves the power of the stage as much as I do, who respects being a servant leader in Toastmasters. I have learned so much from his journey in leadership. And he has been a very good mentor to me in terms of my speaking journey as well. So yeah, very grateful. I think the journey for us has just begun. And anything more to add, Sagnik?
Right, so she didn't elucidate on the crazy side, right? Now, Miss Annesha Dutta from District 41 and all, thinks District 92 boys can't dance, especially Mysore boys can't dance. And there's this guy called Azhar Naveed Khairdi. He comes up and says, भाई उन्होंने तो कह दिया इधर के लड़कों को नाचना नहीं आता. हाँ क्या देखो and like it's India, and I was happily gulping down my Mountain Dew and like चलो दिखाते हैं. And I know like 4 steps of salsa, right? 1 foot backward, 1 foot forward, and then there is an endless twirl, right? Because obviously I don't know anything beyond that. So she said कि ये तो मतलब ठीक है, I'll dance with you, and I had a point to prove, and when I have a point to prove I get like super aggressive, so I spun her around like 15 times, and then she's like, I don't want to dance with you anymore. So yeah, I mean that was one part, and
You literally swept her off her feet.
I almost had to take her to an ambulance. Yeah, so no, I'm not great with sweeping people off their feet on day one. I'm more of like an acquired taste, or like, so yeah, over time I think and the best part was, this was Diwali, right? She's in Bangalore, I'm in Chennai, and we have been discussing about this for a while. Where are we exactly? Because there have been a lot of people who are like, you two look good together, you two have this natural thing going, and we have brushed them off. Okay, they've tried, everybody's tried my matchmaking, Nawab, Ayushi, all of them were like, nahi, tum log ko kar lena chahiye. And I'm like, okay. And then I'm sitting in Chennai, she's sitting in Bangalore, and she's like, what is our thing? I'm like, yeah, we can start dating. And it was WhatsApp. So thank God for WhatsApp, right? And so I went up the stairs, I was single, I came back, I'm in a relationship. So yeah, it's fun beginnings. But yeah, I mean, what she said, I think she often keeps me grounded in Toastmasters. That is, I think, one key feature of these last 6 years. Ki jab bhi matlab, my runway is about to like hit, and she's like, have you considered this and this? So all through my years, CGD, PQD, DD, IPDD, whenever I have to throw something out there to the public, I'll first talk to her. I'm like, what do you think about this idea? And if that idea passes her, then I don't listen to anyone. If she doesn't pass the idea, I'll convince her and then anyways go ahead with the idea, but obviously it will have modifications. So yeah, I think that's been a hallmark.
So Annesha Sagnik just praised and went all over the fact how you've counseled him and helped him through his leadership decisions. Rumor has it that you've been the diamond area director in a certain division, and that is beyond president distinguished area director. Just tell us how it was and your stint in the leadership in the district. How was it?
Okay, I want to begin by saying that these titles, all of that, it depends from district to district. But being area director for District 41 was a blast. It was an amazing experience. And again, this was something that did not come naturally to me. I had been on the speaker track till then. Just the year before, I had wanted to go in and be on the district level for the ISC. It was DTM Basu of TCS Maitri Toastmasters Club, who was a very good friend and mentor to me. He was the one who encouraged, and he said that Annesha, I think that you can be a good leader. You can use your communication skills to reach more people. Because you are already a teacher, and we had a lot of clubs then, like I Am Rachi, we had I think I Am Calcutta also, we went for a bit. There were lots of student clubs at that time that we were going to, and there was VG Som Kharagpur. Sorry, I'm just recalling. So all of these clubs, they were lacking that motivation, that what does Toastmasters bring to the table. And that's where Satyajit thought that this is a very good connect for you. It's a very good platform, and I will say that I learned so much from it. Not a natural leader, not very comfortable, in front of large crowds. I've always been an introvert. Doing a speech for me is easier because I know, okay, that this is something that I can practice, I can rehearse. But when you are in front of a lot of people, you are interacting with different kinds of people, different age groups. There were corporate clubs as well. There were new clubs that we were opening, and the area was vast. Like, I traveled to Jamshedpur, I traveled to Kharagpur, I traveled to Siliguri, and Calcutta, of course, right? So we went all over the place, Anirban and I know. I were doing all of these trips together, and I must say that was a great learning experience for me. How Toastmasters can be different things for different people, for different age groups, for different professional levels. How do you motivate and influence? That P9, P10 was actually being used, in real. That how do you motivate, persuade, influence people? How do you understand what are the grassroots level challenges that every club faces, and how can you overcome that? So that was something great. We had a great team of leaders overall at the district level also, and it was, as I said, it was a memorable journey, and I will always cherish that.
Sagnik is looking a little disappointed for not having you in the class of 22, but I can assure you we talk the same way about us.
I'm sure.
I'll take your word for it.
Do you want to speak a little about how was it leading the district in the class of 22?
I mean, you dream about this, right? I mean, at least I dreamt about this कि यार एक दिन तो मतलब आएगा ऐसा कि I'll probably lead the district. I'd seen a lot of people and everybody had a different style, and they say that when you're CGD, when you're PQD, you are going through your sections. What I loved about class of 22 was the fact that almost everyone didn't want to give up even after 30th of June, right? And I think most importantly for me what stood out was I can still go back to almost each and every one and have a heart to heart. I think that matters to me, that these are my kids. Although
that's how he really talked about them.
Yeah, like some of them were a bit older than my kids, but I love the fact that I could call anybody at any point of time and say let's work this through. I mean that's to be very honest, this comes out. I'm stuttering, stammering through this, but I can't describe what that year was for me. It was a roller coaster, right? I learned a lot of things during and after that year, but most importantly, it was like I've given my attention. That is something that sometimes as you're coming up, sometimes you probably can't give every area director your attention, and that happens. Let's be honest here. But at least at the end of the year, I was like, okay, you know what? I've spoken to everyone. I've given everybody my time. We have worked together. At the end of the year, it was not like, यार इसने किया क्या या मैं इसके साथ जुड़ पाया कि नहीं उतना. Some started late, some started from day one, but at least by the end of it, you know, the bond was something that I cherished the most. And I think precursor to 22, all the years, right? I've been in district leadership since 2016, right? And every year kind of set a building block to how you should be as a district director. And no district director ever tells this, but we all keep our diaries either in our heads or in WhatsApp or in a notebook that ये वाला मुझे नहीं करना है, or this is a great example. And I was very lucky to be very close to all of the past district directors, starting from Gauri all the way up till Bhupati, and I used to bug them and irritate them a lot with hours and hours of questions. So I picked a lot of their brain, put a bit of mine, stayed open to scrutiny, as they say, and I think that's why that year will always remain very memorable.
So speaking of scrutiny, Sagnik, you've just brought that question to yourself. We all know that you are a friend's friend and how much you love and support your mentees, your friends, and there is this thing in District 92 that has always put you under scrutiny for being with your friends and choosing them for certain roles in certain years.
Yeah.
So do you think district leadership demands that kind of scrutiny, or do you think it was all fair or unfair for them?
Oh, I think that's a good question. Many people have wanted to ask this question, but probably never had the guts to ask this question. Yes, I have been a friend's friend. Yes, I have often supported my friends in their journey, but I've never put out an undeserving candidate. Yes, they were close to me, but I've always balanced who can do good for the district, and that has been my thing, right? If there are two people, I've weighed the option, I've seen किसका पलरा भारी है, उसको लेके चलो. There have been many friends whose journeys have not gone concurrently from the day I started to the day I completed my district leadership journey. So yeah, I mean, it's good. I had high performing friends and they grew, right? I always sought out the potential. Now when you select someone in Toastmasters, when you're selecting or electing someone, you go with the belief that they will do good, right? And that is what I was looking. Fortunately or unfortunately for others, they were my friends. But name one person who is my friend and has underperformed in all the years that they have been with me. There have been times that I have put out a person and said, you know what, you need to come back and you need to serve this role because I really need you, because I've seen you, you're passionate about it, you talk about it, come and serve the district. My intention was not let me surround myself with sycophants and they will say yes, hanji to whatever I say. So that was never the intent. I saw on paper who's good, who can do better for the district, and that is what it is. If somebody has a problem, they can call me. And if they can't, they can continue speaking about it, and you're most welcome to speak about it. Right? So, too honest, huh? Please continue speaking about it. But on the question of scrutiny, I think district leaders, right from the time you become area directors all the way to the top, you need to have scrutiny. Because the moment you get the badge, you are like already soaring 20,000 feet above the air ki, dekho maine kya kiya. Right? That sounded like the Zivame ad. But that's how it is, right? And you should forever ask your leaders questions. They are not unreachable. If they are acting unreachable, then you bring them down a peg sometimes. And by peg, I don't mean there's another peg. But what I want to say is, if you have a question for a leader, go ask it, right? I remember I was doing this initiative in January 2022 where I said I'll call up my ADs and I'll speak to them about what's going well, what's not going well. And the first call, fortunately or unfortunately, went to Nitin Bhagat. we discussed the 5 smaller questions, and I said, do you have something you wanted to ask me, right? And he said, yeah, I have a question. Why did you select person Y over person X, who was the right fit for this area? People are saying this, it's probably politically motivated. And I appreciated that because he had the guts to ask me that question. And that kind of is a testament to the relationship I've shared with my district officers. That they come and ask, and I was very happy ki rather than going and talking about it behind my back that this was a politically motivated something, he decided to confront it. And I've had those conversations all across the year. I think even with you I had a conversation, right? Why this person and why not that person? That person was deserving. We always have those conversations. And yes, keep your district officers under scrutiny. We are also humans, though sometimes you don't act like that. But yeah, I mean, keep us grounded, and I think that's something she has always done, right? She'll always put a, like, have you thought about this? And it forces you to think. So district leaders should be forever under scrutiny. Like, even when I was division director, my area directors used to ask me about everything. Like, I take a step, they will ask me, like Divya, Rohit, all of them would just immediately ask me a question, why did you do this, why did you do that? It is required. You can't
being accountable.
In Bengali, it's called chhada godu. The cow is let loose, right? You can't let someone, ki, I've elected you, now do whatever you want. You have to hold them accountable, and every district leader should open themselves up to scrutiny, right? If I have a question, it could be a very simple question, you can't just go back and say, oh, my decision. There have been situations like that. Yes, it is my decision, but it won't kill you to explain that decision. If it was made with the right intent, and that is where I was not playing favorites. I chose the best people for the job. How they performed is that year, different conditions, different circumstances. There's so many things. When we were ADs, we definitely didn't speak about mental health, but people started speaking about it. So, if you think a district leader is playing favorite, grow the courage and go ask them, ki bhai, why did you do this? And hopefully they will answer. And if they don't answer, you push them until they answer.
So for people who do not know, Sagnik, I appreciate you for bringing that up. We had this specific session during one of our trainings where Sagnik ensured all of us ask our questions and give our feedback to all the top 7, top 9 who were around, and we went ahead did that. So scrutiny was definitely for everybody, and that is probably from where I grew my skills as well of actively listening, judging, if I want to put it that way, and also implementing what I am expecting from others back. So this is one major learning that I have taken from my Toastmasters journey. And
I totally agree to that, because right from day one in my district leadership journey, it was always good with the right intent, with whatever intent. People always threw questions your way. I love that challenge, right? You don't really grow if you are not put under the spotlight, and that's how you grow. That's how you become who you want to become.
So Sagnik spoke his heart about how he feels so passionately about his friends, mentees, and everything that he has done as a leader, as a friend in Toastmasters. And definitely he takes his Toastmasters relationships to his heart.
Yes.
What is your take, Annesha, about taking relationships in Toastmasters so seriously?
Well, for me, I completely agree with Sagnik that Toastmasters is like a second family. And I say this for both the clubs that I've been part of. I started off with Salt Lake Toastmasters Club in Calcutta, and then when I moved to Bangalore in 2017, I was a member of BTM Toastmasters Club. So for both of them, I feel that Toastmasters is not just something where you go in for the meetings and then it's over. It is not just a network you build, but a lot of lifelong relationships, and that includes professional and personal. So I'll speak about how professionally there were a lot of mentors who helped me not just fine tune my skill sets, but also helped me pivot from the whole academia sector that I was in, into trainings, into corporate, and even like corporate content communication. In fact, my YouTube channel Ask Annie became a project that my Salt Lake Toastmasters Club people took up with me. They encouraged me, and I remember Avinav, a very close friend again who I made from Toastmasters, was the reason, he was a cinematographer, and he was the first person, who pushed me to start the YouTube channel. So I think even today that I'm a creator, it's all because of the people who pushed me to do something beyond my comfort zone, who recognized and encouraged the talents that I had. Personally, I would say that when in 2016, I was the area director at that time, 2016-17, that was the year, and I was doing so much. You just get immersed in the Toastmasters journey. It's like no weekends, no weekdays, this, like it's 24/7, 365, right? So I was in that phase, very passionate, always, trying to do more. Unfortunately, at that time, my mother got diagnosed with breast cancer. This was 2016 October, and I had to juggle that, my college teaching job, and the whole area directorship with that. I could not have done it if my Salt Lake Toastmasters family was not there with me, all of the people, and especially, I would like to mention Swarnendu and Ritesh, who were the leaders of that club, and they have been such a big support for me. There are so many other people that I may not be mentioning right now, but yes, each and every one of the Salt Lake Toastmasters family came and stood by me. They used to come to the hospital also sometimes when the chemo sessions would happen for my mother. They would constantly reassure me and help me with my duties, that okay, this is something that we can help you with, this is something that we can ease off your plate. And they were the people who I talked to whenever I used to feel low. So that's something that I will never forget. And coming to BTM again, it was a very new club when they just started a few months back. But I think Toastmaster Subramaniam and then there was Bensil and Arjun, these people, they were again a backbone in a new city for me. When I was also finding my way as a freelancer, going into corporate, it was a big change. It could have been very lonely here, but that became like an amazing place for me, BTM Toastmasters. So they extended their help to make me feel welcome in the city. They checked in with me. They were the ones who encouraged me to participate in D92, which was a completely new district for me for the speech contest. And thankfully, like I feel like they are going to be family for the rest of my life. They are always there, championing every single moment, every single milestone, and even our marriage, I think they were very, very happy. So I think it's been a blessing to find this kind of a group, this kind of a network. Absolutely, relationships matter.
So Annesha, whenever I hear you speak, it is always a fangirl moment for me.
Thank you so much.
And I remember the first introduction that I've had about you was, I was speaking to a friend of mine of how beautifully Sagnik delivered a speech. And he said, do you know who his wife is? I said, no. She is the greatest speaker, and you've not even heard the best, you just heard Sagnik. So that was
Just heard Sagnik.
So that was the first introduction that I've had of yours, and ever since then I've always loved how you carry yourself on the stage now in a podcast or otherwise. But recently, Annesha, it's my absolutely personal observation that in the race to become DTMs or in the race to get fancy leadership titles, a lot of our leaders have taken a step back on the preparation towards a good speech on the stage.
Right.
Do you agree to this? What is your take on being a good speaker as well?
Okay, so thank you so much for that observation, because that has been my experience as well. First of all, I owe a thank you to your friend and for the compliments, and thank you so much. Very gracious, and I love the word that you used, which is the race that people are in. So it's not a race. First of all, Toastmasters, we keep saying, and I have been through it, it's a journey. It's a process, it's evolution that you're going through. Otherwise, there is no point of the program the way it is designed. It takes you, it's not like, it's not point 10 first and then point 1. The way that the entire curriculum is also designed is that way, that first you learn about like the nitty-gritties, about basics like grammar and tone of voice and just how to be comfortable on stage, and then you move on to the bigger things, which is persuading, influencing, how to use data, how to use storytelling, the advanced modules. So there is a purpose to that, and the purpose is that you take time, you go through all of those things like an education, and you get better with feedback, and you get better with the right mentorship. That is how I have also improved. This person, the speaker that I am today is not because of one day that I joined and then I delivered 40 speeches in 6 months. That's not how the thing goes. It takes time, it takes persistence, and it takes consistent feedback, consistent improvement. But also it takes that commitment from you, from me, from everyone to be excellent and keep being excellent. Right? So just like any top athlete will keep on doing that 1% to change their game. So you also have to be like that, and that is what I think is missing. For example, when I was preparing for the international speech contest, I used to follow not just the winners but all the 10 semi-finalists as well. I used to go back 10 years and watch all the videos. And I would see which is the one that really resonated. Someone's storytelling I liked, someone's use of props I liked, and then I matched it with my personality. I used to go to multiple clubs and deliver speeches and get all kinds of feedback and welcoming tough feedback as well. It doesn't come easy, but you have to do that. You have to get the tough feedback in, and you need to constantly change. You have to work on writing. I feel that is one thing that speakers are missing today. They think it's all just go there and throw your arms out like Shah Rukh and it's done. It's not that way. You have to have a certain bit of preparation that will lead you to being impromptu. That will give you the confidence to be impromptu there and be someone who has a message, who has a presence on stage. So I think one thing that can be done right now with speakers, evaluators, everyone I feel, is workshops, more of workshops. One workshop that I had the privilege of attending was the Champions Workshop led by DTM Maheshwaran, who came as you know that he ranked among the top 3. He was the second in second place. So he led us through an amazing 3-day workshop where it was just focused on understanding different speaker styles, researching how you even write everything into your speech. Just that humor isn't something you do on stage. Humor is something that starts with you writing it on the page. Okay, understanding what are the different aspects of a speech, how you have to tailor it. And that works for presentations also, by the way. We are not constantly doing public speaking, but we do present every day in office. So how do you tailor your message to an audience? The line that he always used to say was, what's in it for me? So your audience will always ask this question, what's in it for me? Why should I even listen to you? What is the message I'm taking back with me? What are the questions you are making me think about? All this takes time, takes practice. It's like patiently watering a plant and seeing it bloom. So I think that kind of workshop can help, and definitely if you have that that desire in you to be excellent, you keep putting in that 1%. You read more books, you watch different kinds of videos, you expand your horizons, and you learn how to be a better speaker. So I hope that answers your question.
It absolutely does. And Annesha, I've been a fan of yours and how you speak. I've also been a fan of yours, Sagnik, and how you lead.
Good save.
And speaking of preparedness, the point that she just brought up, I want the entire world to know about this one specific phase in my life where I was attempting to become the CGD of District 92, which never happened. But I came to Sagnik to help me out with the kind of questions that the DSC would ask. And that year, Sagnik's mentee was also going for the race. And I thought Sagnik will probably not help me because, of course, his mentee was on the race. But Sagnik actually gave us his set of questions, what he thinks should work in a DLC interview to all of us who were going for the race, because as he said, we were his kids from the class of 22. And that was one of the best and the fondest memory of mentorship that I've had through you, Sagnik. So my next question is, of course, now directed to you, that what are your takes and how do you feel about mentorship, not just in District 92, mentorship in life?
When you narrated that incident, you basically cut your own question in half, that people say you do favoritism and nepotism, right?
Good comeback.
So no, to that specific incident, I think I told you in a later meeting that only my vote is my choice. My help is unilateral if you wish to come to me. If you don't want to come to me, that's a separate thing. But if someone's coming, you will get exactly the same material that someone I know for 10 years will get. How you play the race, how you play the game is on you, right? And I think that is the foundation of mentoring that I had. My mentor, Jai Krishna Komaleshwara Ranganatha Rao, JK. Now, the thing is, most people in District 92 would probably not even have heard his name, but he set the tenet of being a mentor for me. I've had the privilege of getting many speech mentors, I've had the privilege of getting many leadership mentors, but a lot of that journey was, taking suggestions from them. But what he did was, he set the basics in me very clear. And I remember I came third in the international speech contest at the club. And I was very distraught because I had done the perfect speech, right? Bengalis will never say that they have done anything wrong, right? And my speech was apparently very depressing for the audience and the judges and whatnot. Because it spoke about suicide in an era where suicide wasn't cool. Attempted suicide wasn't cool, right? And obviously I got third place to speeches which I felt first and second. We all have that feeling, right? Abhishekta, I'm sure you have had that feeling. I'm sure you have had that feeling. Nobody else in the room, obviously. But what he did on that day defined what a mentor should be. I was ranting for 3 hours in the basement of his apartment. This guy didn't move. And he considered it as much as a stumbling block for him as a mentor, as much as it was for me. Because he had spent the last 8 days just working on the script with me. I had at least 60 rehearsals of that ISC speech, because I knew that I was going to go to the district for this, with this kind of a speech. That's probably the best speech I've ever written, right? And he was there through that process, and that itself was the benchmark that I set, that I'll be a tough mentor. I have given a lot of tough love to all of my mentees. One incident stands out. We're at the division contest in Mysore, and one of my mentees, Sanjana, she's supposed to go for the evaluation contest. Everybody is preparing, and some people are having pizza, and I'm like, tu headphone pehen, tu sare world champions ko sun, evaluate them, show me the notes. People are partying, yeah? Pizzas are flowing, cold drink is flowing, and there she is in the corner of a room. She just, and
Is that discipline?
yes, it's sincerity, and this is something that I tell, and I'm sorry, Bangalore, the mentor and the mentee both need to take the walk together. You have a big name as a mentor, does not mean he can magically or she can magically transfer their powers to you. My mentor taught me that.
Very important. Yeah.
Right? And all the way up to, even the mentee that you mentioned, Yashika has had a very hard time with me. Right? I will question her on everything. Even today, anything she does, I'll question her 10 times on what she's doing. But that is what mentoring starts with. All of my mentors, right? Gauri and Powers for my leadership track. Okay. Oh my God. Like the questions they would ask, make you like think. Are you on the right? But they will set you right, but they will not. They will give you the tough love, but they have the right intentions in their mind. Apart from my speech mentor, whoever I've met in Mangalore, people in Mangalore were very passionate about Toastmasters, right? It was our first job, it was our everything, right? And they would treat it like their personal mission, and that is how I have approached mentoring. Sometimes I feel that sometimes over, at least in Bangalore, sometimes it's like in Delhi how they say, "Tu janta hai mera baap kaun hai," and over here, "Tu janta hai mera mentor kaun hai," kind of a thing. So, it is not about knowing who your mentor is. It's about, are you extracting, you're paid 5,000 for every 6 months. Are you extracting 5,001 out of your mentor? Are you getting the best use of your mentor? And that's what mentoring is. Walk the mile with the mentor. Make them, because I have too many stories. That would be an entire BaatCheet in itself, right? I can do an entire series on mentoring itself. Because both what I have taken, I was a very, my simple thought process was, मेरे mentor ने ये बोला है, he has asked me for 10 things, I will go back with 13 things. Right? Tied to my childhood trauma for all you care, but I was always on top of my thinking, I should get that value from my mentor, and that's what mentoring is.
Also, I just want to add one point that we need to realize that you should have at least two mentors. One who is very strong on the technicals, and one who is very strong on understanding the audience and storytelling. In leadership also, it should be like someone who has definitely been through the journey themselves, of course, but also someone who knows the reality and knows you and knows how to push you through those those hoops, as they say, right? So just like imagine the metaphor of a horse and a race, right? So what it takes to win the race. So there's technicalities also, but there's also the training, the coaching, everything that goes into making the horse ready for the field. So I think we definitely should have two mentors minimum.
And a third group, my favorite kind of mentors, friends. Your friends. I was very lucky to have one very soft-spoken friend and one very hard-hitting friend right from the start of my Toastmasters journey. Vedant, ultimate soft-spoken gentleman. Anubhav, pakka Dilli ka londa. And they, eventually Annesha arrives, eventually Rohit arrives, somewhere during the journey Nawab arrives, somewhere during the journey Rishabh arrives. People who have kept
very different strengths.
Yes, and that's the thing, right? Even my mentees ask tough questions. Like they are, I don't know, I empower them too much, I guess. So they ask the tough questions back. You are questioning me, that's the thing. But your friends, the people around you in that system, if they don't keep you grounded, and if they just say, "नहीं तू बहुत बढ़िया कर रहा है," and my best friend would, after I've given a stellar speech, after I've done the best, he'll be like, "इससे भी बेहतर तू कर सकता था." So that is very important in this journey.
Annesha, you just spoke about how it is very important to have a technical mentor.
Yes.
And I have seen you applying a lot of what we are all trying to learn in Toastmasters in your professional space. Do you want to touch a bit about how were you able to successfully implement what you were learning here?
Absolutely. So Toastmasters, I always maintain, has been the how do you put it, the fulcrum of everything that has happened in my professional journey since 2016, 2015, since when I joined. So I, first of all want to talk about how it helped me make a career pivot. So the most transferable skill that I would say that I got from there was of training. So I was a teacher, I was, teaching business communication, but how does it relate to the business world? I met so many people from corporate backgrounds in my club itself, within, the area, the district, the division, right? I got to understand in leading those sessions with those leaders that the way that communication happens in corporate scenarios is very different from what we read in books and what I was teaching. So it helped me to take that back to the classroom and help my students in real-time understanding of business use cases. The second was, it got me very interested in how I can go one notch higher and maybe in a more diverse sector by speaking to people in corporate situations, right? That how can we develop the communication skills, the presentation skills in this sector. I want to mention specifically Mr. Deepak Sharma, DTM Deepak Sharma, who was one of the people who brought me that confidence, by giving me a few trainings with his training company at that time. And then he was also pivotal in me having the confidence to, give up my job there and take the plunge into corporate training and understanding corporate communications, coming to Bangalore. He was a great mentor in that. The second thing I think that really transferred for me was the idea of evaluation and feedback, right? So when I was teaching students, it's all one way, like a lecture, okay? You barely get that feedback from students that I think that you are moving your hands too much, or you're speaking too fast, or I did not understand the points that you said. But when you come into a Toastmasters club, you get very specific feedback on A, what you're doing right, and B, what is it that you can improve. I think both are crucial, because before that, I was winging it. I did not know what I was doing right, what I was doing wrong, and there's only so much a mirror can tell you. So that is another great thing that I have learned. That skill has transferred into me being a successful manager, being empathetic in my sandwich feedback technique, but also giving the tough love, the advice, to mentors, to my Gen Z team as well, and understanding how to persuade, influence, and inform them about different things. The third thing that I would say is I am very grateful for the confidence that Toastmasters built in facing the camera, facing videos, right? So how to understand video presence, how to build camera confidence. That started with Toastmasters, with my advanced module, which was speaking on camera, like on television, that kind of a thing. It fulfilled my dream of being a television journalist, which I wanted to be, but also it helped me understand that speaking to a camera is very different than speaking to people in a live situation. And that has helped me amazingly when the pandemic hit. We all went online, and in leading webinars, podcasts for my work, everything that I do with my LinkedIn content, my YouTube content, and finally being on the TEDx stage twice. So it was amazing to see that these are the skills that I was applying in a very small format earlier, and then how I am taking it to larger and larger audiences and different business contexts. So definitely I would say that it has helped me evolve a lot.
What I also loved, Annesha, is the fact that you did not keep all of these skills to yourself. I was recently following one of your videos where you were saying what is it that we have to do to speak to the camera professionally.
Right.
You could have kept that to yourself, but it's there out for all of us to go read, know more about.
It's all from what we got. So Abhishekta, you will also know this, that in Toastmasters it's all about like giving more and being, as I said, like servant leadership, right? So you are always open to sharing, and I receive so much from my mentors, from people in my club, that it's only the least that I can do to share it across with more people.
Beautiful. Speaking of leadership, I will move to my favorite leader, who has also been one of our caption kings in District 92. PR is Pyar, the original was from here, and also something that we all heard so much was find your next. So Sagnik, it has been a break from the last time I saw you actively pursuing District 92 leadership and your speaking journey as well. So now I want to ask you, what next that we have.
You almost sound like Vanita, because Vanita, she's one very persistent lady, girl,
Friend.
woman, friend, partner in crime. Because so we did CGTs together, and from that year onwards we formed the, so we'd continuously ask what's next, what's next. That's the kind of, but so I've taken a step back, and I'm enjoying it actually, because in the 9 years that I was very active, right, from 2015 to all the way till 2024, I've been active in the background, I've been moving the pieces. So not really, but I'm still, I like the background work. I like picking up passion projects, or if people do come to me for advice. There's still one or two of that species still left in District 92. So I like doing that, because in those 9 years, the L&T chairman would have been very proud, because I gave 90 hours a week to Toastmasters. Plus Narayan Murthy, of course. But I literally treated it like something that I needed to do. It was a big passion project, but it also takes out a lot from me. So I'm liking that my weekends are finally mine. I can lounge around or do something that I really want to do. But I've not found a replacement passion project yet. I'm yet to find that. But I'm very comfortable in my retirement. As people in District 92 know, I have those very nice friends who have taken along in my journey, and I like retirement with my friends. I think right now it's good that way, and I like it this way, because when you've hit that adrenaline high for so many years, sometimes you need, and I've also become hopefully a different person, right? So I value my weekends a lot. But I never know when the next spark is going to come. I might suddenly jump head in, all in, and
I am pushing him to start a newsletter or a podcast to share his situational leadership lessons. I think a lot.
It's all situations.
Yeah.
Lots of
I
situations.
have a lot of fun.
I am waiting to see you win that table topic contest.
Yeah, there are people who think that they can defeat me. This is looking at you, Rohit Koka. You can never can. But I need to get back on that track. I'm very competitive. It's either intense or absolute zero. I'm a type A or type B, right? So I will be what we Bengalis call ladkhor, right? When I go into like my Zen mode, I'm
Koala mode.
Zen. So I'm enjoying my Zen at the moment. So I don't know what my next is. So I'll leave it ambiguous for now. But let's see.
Well,
What is our next, by the way? What is our next? Oh my God! This is a time on camera. We can say what's next for us. Oh no! It's a foreign trip, guys. That's all I'm planning. Okay.
You almost got me there. But I hope this BaatCheet episode sparks that new something in both of you, and I see more of both of you in District 92. But before we take that leave from all of the audience who love you too so much, do you want to leave a message to District 92 and Toastmasters all over the world?
Okay. My message is to all the girls, all the women out there. Stand up tall, own your voice, whatever it is, raise your hand and leave your mark on stage. Don't just be in the sidelines, don't be in the wings. Share your story. If you are an introvert, all the more reason for you to take up the stage and share your story, and share all the great work, the great journeys that you are going through in your professional life, in your personal life, and I will always be a champion. So let me know if there's anything I can help with, resources in my videos, and I wish you all the best, and I want to see you win the not just the international speech contest, but all the speech contests there are.
Right, for me, District 92 and District 121 because that's where I originally come from. Thank you for the memories. It's been an integral part of my life. It will always be. And if you know, you are in that. If you are in my friend list, you know. We have got a long time together, and but to every member whom I might have met accidentally, who I might have met, just doing last benches stuff and joking around, I have enjoyed every one of those moments. And to what Annesha said, girls, yes, please rise. We need you, and boys, make that space. And most importantly, as Toastmasters, we are open to help. Come to us for help. We are in that phase कि मेरे ज़माने में ऐसा होता था. We can always regale you with stories and give you anything that you need, as long as you're not asking for me for my money. It's all. I don't think. Yeah. Most of you are richer than me. But yes. Most importantly, thank you for making me who I am. Thank you.
Well, thank you
Thank
both
you.
of you for gracing our BaatCheet. When we started this initiative, we thought we will go beyond small talk, and today we did. So it has been an absolute pleasure to talk with
Same for us.
the feminist and the bigger feminist. So I'm so glad both of you did. In conversation with my favorite speaker and my favorite leader, the Annesha Dutta and the Sagnik Biswas. Thank you for watching BaatCheet Beyond Small Talk. If you liked our initiative of speaking of the comfortable and the uncomfortable, please go, like, share and subscribe to District 92, where leaders are.